Boom, 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 boom. Doom, 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 doom. Hey, boom, 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 boom. Welcome to the show. Boom, boom, boom. Confessions of a former fuckboy. Boom, boom, boom. From Minister Bink, Bink, Bink.
Okay. I didn't really think about that, but my boy Chris here, that everyone knows and loves, was doing like, I guess, verbal exercises before we press record today.
Yeah, something like that. Just roll into it. Roll into the appreciation. Yeah. Appreciation for the nation.
Yeah, don't say that again.
Oh yeah, not the moment.
Yes, for real. All right, so welcome to the Chronicles of a Reformed Fuckboy. This is Binkey. Chris, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hey guys, my name's Chris. I'm a fucking ex-army tattooist living in Berlin, but I'm currently in Manchester.
With your mum.
With my fucking mum and my mum's dog. And he's a good boy. Always the goodest of boys.
Oh,
seriously, I fucking love this dog.
Oh, that's adorable, man. That's pretty cool. Is it a big dog? Is it like a...
It's a puppy. He's only 6 months old, but he's a collie. He's a border collie. And he's learning fast, and he requires all the play in the world. So I've spent most of my days just wrestling with a dog, and I could not be happier about it, frankly. I'm down. That's what I live for.
Well, that's beautiful because that is a part of your check-in. Would you like to continue with that check-in? So far you are...
Continue with that check-in, mate. Yeah. All right. So, I came back to England a little while ago because Berlin is in lockdown and I can't tattoo there. I had a very intense week or two in Bristol tattooing my little butt off, which was fantastic. I'm now back up in Manchester with my mum and we're actually getting along really fucking well. Probably the best me and my mum have ever got on for this amount of time, and I'm really enjoying it. It really shows like the amount of work that we've both put into like our traumas on a relationship, and just that we're both calmer as people. I'll be going back to Berlin on the 10th, which is in a couple of days, and I'm super excited about that as well. So yeah, that's me. What about you, man? How are you doing?
That's beautiful, man. First of all, with you and your mom, that's actually really, really nice to hear. You know,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, big sincere. Deal. Damn. That's pretty cool. All right, man. Congratulations on that, bro. I am in Playa del Carmen, Mexico right now. Been here for like, I don't know, since New Year's. And it has been an absolute ball. I'm not going to lie. I'm having a fucking great time out here.
Nice.
I was put up by my homie Kat, man. She's an amazing person. Thank you, Kat. Thank you so much. You're such an ill person. Thank you. We went to a New Year's party at a big house. Got my homies that live here and visiting here. My boy Dre, my boy Atari. We all got into the party. It was such an interesting and hilarious night. Yeah, man. And the next morning we all got up and me and the two homies got up and walked to the beach, man. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And so I'm just getting the sun out here. I came out here to get a break from the monotony and from the winter. And I have been, this is self-love out here, man. This is me taking care of myself. So I feel good.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Good. I'm glad you're feeling good.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks. Look at us, man. Look at us. Hey, actually, I don't even want, Dre, do you want to check in, dog?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, fair enough. All right, man.
That's okay.
Well, we have gone through our check-in. Wonderful. And now let's get into one of the topics of the day. And one of the topics of the day is this. I have been getting an influx of DMs and just calls and whatever type of social media, whatever type of media I'm getting.
The switchboard's been lighting up. For questions.
Thank you. Like, and there are times where you ever, let me ask you this. You ever have times where your phone is like dried in a motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying? Like no, not a lot of action happening.
No fucking idea what you mean by that. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes. Not often, but sometimes.
Fair. It happens. Even to the best of us. And then there are times where, like you said, the switchboards are lighting up, is what you said. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those times in the midst of that that light up, it's been these younger women I'm saying younger by, let's say 24 through 28, right? Around that area. And they are first time dealers or fed up dealers with fuckboys. Like they are calling me like, yo, what is up with, I can't deal anymore. And you know, they're looking to us for advice, especially because of this show. So, let's talk about giving, young ladies advice when they call us for it, about how to deal with fuckboys.
Not when we're telling them.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like what advice would you have for a young lady asking about, you know, dealing with a fuckboy, Chris?
All right, man. Well, I think this settles basically on the same kind of advice you would have for any relationship. So I in certain ways, I consider interacting with people who have negative traits. So we'll call fuckboyism a negative trait right now. It's kind of like gambling, you know? You walk into the casino and you're like, all right, how much am I willing to spend? What money can I happily walk away from this with? And how much can I lose? So I think for the most part, you really want to set out your boundaries, you know, like how much energy do I want to give this person and what do I want out of this transaction?
In the beginning, like, okay, but that's good advice. I feel like that's good advice. Cause I was wondering, like, what do I tell them? This is post them dealing with fuckboy, obviously. It's like, you know, like, hey, Binkey, how do I know? Oh, somebody might come to me, how do I notice a fuckboy? But I think it's, you know, there's too late about that.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good point. Like spotting a fuckboy.
Yeah.
How would you spot a fuckboy, Binkey?
Oh man, these behaviors that are very self-indulged that really don't, obviously that does not have the other person in mind, other person being you yourself. You know what I mean? These activities that happen, small things that happen for me where I noticed, like, me giving them, like feeding them something, giving them something, making sure they're good in a way. You know what I mean? Just taking care of them in a small way. And then when the tables are turned, just watching behavior and see if it's done for you. You know what I mean? Just seeing how, self-indulged are they. And you don't do it to get these things back. You just watch them and see, you know, behavior wise, just what they are, how empathetic are they? That's really where it starts.
General courtesy and respect.
Yeah, sincerely. And that bleeds over into, you know, relations. It bleeds over into relations, obviously, like, because when they're selfish in one ways, they're definitely selfish in other ways. Mm-hmm. So, you know, watching that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good way of spotting a fuckboy. Dre, you got any pointers on spot boy fucking?
Spot boy.
Spot boy fuck. I think nope.
Bring me a spot boy and I'll fuck him.
Please stop. All right.
Yo, spotting a fuckboy, that could be anything, but I definitely agree with the lack of empathy, and being able to really, you can feel it out. You can feel it out as you're in the vicinity, you're with them, y'all enjoying the company and things like that, and just small, minute things that will probably stand out to just seem, I don't know about that. So those red flags.
Do you have any? Do you have any red flags that, like, you see a fuck girl coming, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's,
Her Instagram. Her fucking Instagram.
Her Instagram. That's interesting. Please continue.
Her fucking Instagram, dog. And if she's all on that shit, with the selfies, and turning the back, the angles and shit like that, and serious about that.
How many pictures, how many selfies do you know? Like,
if she got 3 or 4 in a row, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Like, it's her main picture?
Yeah,
3 or 4 in a row. Okay. What if they're different outfits? What if she's a model? Well, you know what I mean?
I'm definitely not dealing with that.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so we have preferences over here. No 4. if you have 4 ladies, maybe I don't know if this goes well for guys as well, or anybody, but if they have 4 selfies in a row, fuckboyism is upon us. Fuckboy, it might be.
I'm not sure that's specifically true, but I can see pointers on that one. All right. I feel like if I'm posting a lot of pictures, in fact, no, that's not even true. You know, I had an interesting one the other day. So I posted, as you guys know, my Instagram is pretty much just tattooing. I mean, ish. I get a bit crazy on that sometimes. I posted a picture of myself, which is a really great picture I took. And it was like POV, I'm drawing you like one of my French girls / boys, and you feel seen, appreciated, and loved, and da-da-da. And it felt huge for me. It felt really huge to just like post a picture of myself on my business Instagram. I'm not entirely sure what I brought that up, but that felt really significant at the time. I was just like, like, look at me being slightly thirsty. How does everyone feel about this? And then I got like 1,000 more likes than any of my tattoos I've ever done. And I was like, fuck you guys. I know I'm pretty, but like.
So thirst trapping. That, I think that's what he was saying. I think that's.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
I think that's what we were getting at. Thank you for, all right, good tie-in, gentlemen. Good tie-in. I think. That is definitely a sign. And here's the thing. I do it. I think all of us have done it. It's fun for the ego. You know what I mean?
It is. It's that validation we're chasing.
Man. And we all chase a little bit of validation at some point in some areas. 100%. But if there is an overindulgence of it where it's like, look at me. It could be a sign. You know what I mean? And that self-indulgence shit, like that really not having empathy comes from a lack of something. You know what I mean? So like.
Yeah, it falls back again onto feed my ego, feed me, validate me, show me that I am good. Show me that I'm good by having sex with me, show me that I'm good by liking my pictures, show me that I'm good by like, interacting with me. And again, I think that's a real one that you can, if you look for it, you can spot it. You can spot both a need to please and a need to receive validation. I think that's a big spot. It's a big red flag if someone's just like, tell me how good I am. You know?
I sincerely, that's how I know I have fuckboy all in my soul and my heart. I used to perform like and do well, have a good show, but I would just soak it in afterwards instead of just like going to get my energy back like I do now, or just like getting little for a second, just really sincerely get my energy back. It just feels so much better. And plus, like, it's better for performance art in general anyway, cause like you've already given them so much, go and get your shit back and, you know, let it ruminate. Don't sit there in the midst of it and soak and just like continue to soak it in, like relax. You know what I mean? You don't have to chase it. So thirst trapping is definitely a thing of finding some fuckery in people.
Just on that one, just coming straight off your show. So apparently Julius Caesar had a personal slave, as it would have been in the times, whose only job it was that when he was out in the markets and stuff like that, to stand behind him and say, "You're only a man. You're only a man." Because obviously everyone would be like going fucking shit because he was like the Roman emperor.
Damn, man, what if Trump has that?
Oh, fuck, Trump doesn't have that. Like, Trump probably has a fucking personal ball fondler. Like, come on.
Just a really tiny person in there, like, I hate my job, like a Flintstone character and shit. Like,
it's a living.
Oh, God. I feel sorry for that animal.
Man with a soapy leather glove just going at it all day.
In a dark, gray cave of no return. Oh, that's why he leans forward. He's like getting his balls. Oh, what an ultimate fuckboy. But all right, so advice that we would give to young ladies who ask us for it. And one thing we would say is a way to spot them beforehand is how self-indulged are they? How empathetic are they? Little telltale signs. Their Instagram could be a telltale sign of, of how much, love they're willing to give as well as receive. And, and also that shit could be 100% false too. You know what I mean? Like, it could be total cover up for insecurities that they have or, whatever. But sometimes you can't let that be the guy, but sometimes also it could be a definite answer. So, it can't be the first and last. That's all I'm saying.
So I would say advice like going in if you're not aware and going in if you are aware is really like trust yourself, trust your gut, trust your instincts. And also I think self-respect is a massive one.
Agreed.
The way we allow people to treat us and the way just that. The way we allow people to treat us is a massive indicator for ourselves. And if you allow someone to treat you like shit, just fucking don't. Just don't allow people to treat you like shit. Mm-hmm. And then you won't end up in these situations. You won't end up in relationships with people who make you sad. If someone makes you sad continually, if someone doesn't fucking respect you, if someone doesn't respect your boundaries or your time or your energy, then fucking get lost. Like, get rid of the fucker.
Take this as a fact. There are men out there who will do what you allow them to do. Mm-hmm. Take this as a fact. Okay. So having that in your mind, move like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you know for a fact that you can not allow that shit just as much as you can allow it, just because, you know what I mean? So just know that you have that in your pocket to like, you can control the situation if you want. You have the self-respect where when you don't want something, you don't have to, period. And the more, and seeing their reaction to that shit definitely is a telltale sign of fuckery.
Oh, that's a fucking great one. 1 second. So I was talking to, you fucking know me. I talk about consent all the goddamn time. I talk about like, that kind of shit all the goddamn time. So give him a little test. If you're not sure, give him a little fucking test. Be like, okay, so we're not having sex tonight. I'm not in the right place. I don't feel like it. Whatever. Just say, like, for the sake of your own reasons, like, yeah, give them a boundary. Give them a fucking boundary. All right, like, don't touch my arsehole. Like, no sex tonight. Something along those lines. And see how they react to it. If they're immediately like, oh my god, no, I came over here all the way from fucking Montana, and I just want to lick that sweet asshole. Like, fucking, get rid of the cunt. But if he's like, okay, cool, like, I will not lick your arsehole, and then there you go. You're aware that this person is able to respect boundaries and isn't a little fucking bitch about it. I went off on my Instagram the other day, like, I'm all about asking for consent. Like, before I kiss someone, unless it's super fucking obvious, I was like, hey, do you want to make out? And a little while ago, someone was like, no. And I was like, all right, cool. Don't worry about it. I was like, there was a bit of me, my ego took a little hit, but I was like, all right, sweet, that is enough of an answer. And men, if you can't fucking take a no gracefully, don't ask the question. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's a huge indicator for women. Massive.
But come on, guys, you've been turned down a lot. Okay, just fucking take the L and keep it moving. Like, it's not even an L, really. It's just all right, it's like a time in which that didn't happen. Right. Okay, like, the fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, relax. But we're just saying the women who are asking for advice, that no is so okay when you have it in your mind to say. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
Say it and then see how this motherfucker reacts. Now, let me be honest. I have been on the other end where I've gotten a no, but I know that I have the gift of gab, and when in my fuck ways, I can coerce. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, man. That's the way we're all taught.
How do you get beyond that?
How do I get beyond that?
Yeah. How did you get beyond? Because you obviously, and don't take this to your head.
I won't.
But you have, you fucking will, but how do you have the charisma to have the sort of conversation where your no could become a maybe, could become a yes. Mm-hmm. So how do you yourself, grow beyond that? It's like, I know I could do it, but I'm going to just take this no because that's what she gave me.
Brilliant question.
I just sincerely will not manipulate. Like, it doesn't feel good anymore. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is. It does not, since I know I've done it and I know how to do it is intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And so I can't even do that shit because it doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? Because it's not even fun. It's not fun. It's like, it's like playing with somebody's mind or just knowing that I can maneuver my way in. That way is like sneaky a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's hella snaky. And even though it looks smooth and charismatic and, funny gets the draws all the time, but, I'm at the point where also the flirt for me is beautiful. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the flirt. You know what I mean? Like, if we have that, I'm cool with that. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with that. If I want more, these days, I say exactly what I want, like sincerely. And they tell me no, I'm like, all right, cool. I might ask for it again another time to see where they're at. And they're like, you know what? Yeah. And I'm like, all right. They say no. I'm sorry?
That's a thing. Yeah, definitely.
You know what's crazy though?
Yeah.
That is crazy that you say that because I chose silence. Right? I realized I was like, damn, I could really probably just, talk, and just talk my way and all this other stuff. But just like you, it does not feel good. Once you have that awareness, it does not feel good at all.
Yeah.
And I chose silence. I'd rather be the quiet dude, just chilling, observing and enjoying everybody's company than say anything because I feel like it'll become that.
You really think so? So, all right. So you like, yo, if I open my gums, the flocker will come a flying. But are you saying? So you're saying you choose silence because you feel like if you get to talking, then your charisma go kick on and you're gonna start pulling in. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily just pulling in, but it became. I don't know, maybe a fear. I'm just like, I don't like that. I remember this isn't a woman, but I was with a woman and we were at a bar and, we were drinking, chilling, having a good time. And the bartender was cool dude, mad cool. And he hooked me up with a drink for me and Shorty. He had a corner of the liquor left. And I knew because we already been chopping it up that he would just give that to me. So what I did, I asked him, I was like, hey man, what you gonna do with the corner of that? And he was like, oh man, it's all yours. But I knew already, right? Instead of just going directly at it, I just kind of finessed it. That's what it feels like. After that, I was just like, Shorty kind of called me out on it. And she was just like, you knew he was going to give that to you, right? And I was just like, yeah. And it doesn't feel good to use or even go that way, especially knowing what you're capable of doing. Okay. I don't feel. So yeah. I choose often silence. I'm usually just chilling.
Okay.
I feel that one, man. So I just want to get up on Binkey's point that in the one you've both covered is once you know what you're doing, you realize you're using your powers for evil. And once you reach a certain level, you just can't countenance that anymore. And Dre, with what you said about silence is really hit a nerve with me, man, because I know not so much in those situations, but I know sometimes if I'm in a position where I'm just I don't know, man, I've just got flirting on the brain. I'm just anyone I talk to, I'm just hey, how's it going? What's happening? Da-da-da. And I'm just playing with that if I'm in a bit of a place or something. And I know I'm oh, if I start talking to this person, I'm going to take in that direction. So I'm not going to fucking talk to that person. And I think that's a really good sign. I think that's a sign of knowing where you're at and knowing where your unconscious patterns are taking you, or being conscious of your unconscious patterns, which is kind of an oxymoron. But yeah, so good. Well done. Oh, should we start coming back to advice for girls?
Yeah. I mean, but I think it's good I think that ties all in because we are talking about what we do or what we have done that is some fuckboy activity. So now they can watch out for that shit too. Right. So this is
very true.
The reaction is because this is her saying no, or whoever just saying no and seeing what their reaction is. You know what I'm saying? Is that fuck person, are they going to try to coerce you? Are they going to take the L? You know what I'm saying? Are they going to chill? And if they're going to ask later, what is that intention like? Are they just waiting?
Yeah.
Cause that's me too. Cause I don't want to be seen. Cause I thought about that. I was like, all right, even when I ask at a later time, is that just me placating her? You know what I'm saying? I got to check all that shit. I check all that shit at the door. I'm like, nah. I'm looking at this moment as a moment where it's all right, this looks like one of those moments. Let me ask. Nah. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Cool. But also, man, sometimes the silence is the most beautiful thing. Both of you. I gotta learn to do that more, to be honest. I stopped being I want to stop lying so hard that I'm too honest. I'm too honest. I know this. About myself. I'll relax. So ladies, watch out for those manipulators and those smooth talkers. You dig?
And set up your boundaries.
Yeah.
Set up those boundaries. Those early. early. You know, you got to have that, and
the earlier the better, right?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And fucking know them to yourself, and also communicate them to whoever the fuck you're playing with.
That is a huge key. Please communicate these boundaries.
Goodness key.
It is the key to it all, because nobody can say they didn't know. And they cross those boundaries, then now you know where to place them in your life, if at all.
And also, if you're setting these boundaries out, and then the guy's like, oh, you know, I never fucking knew. I didn't realize you didn't want me to stick my fucking dick in your ass. And you can be like, motherfucker, I said that 3 times tonight. I said that 3 times. I was like, keep that fucking stinking Fukboi dick away from my ass. And then if he's prodding your little fucking pooper, you know he's not been listening. And that's a fucking bad sign.
That should all go on a bumper sticker. Keep that stink away from my pooper.
One of these days, someone's going to be making fucking memes out of me, just my face and that in capitals.
You know, just based off the conversation we had, I would love to animate something like that. That'd be funny.
With him saying it, or the actual act of what he's talking about?
Him saying it.
Okay, phew. Okay, cool. I mean, I watch both. I'm just saying. Where do we go? Okay, anyways. Yeah, sorry, yo, if you call us, that's the advice we would give y'all. You know what I mean? That's the advice we give y'all, and you know, take it from some reforming fuckboys. We know. Okay.
Yeah, man. Watch for the signs. Watch for the signs and trust yourself.
And set your boundaries. Earlier the better. All right, so Chris.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about the ultimate fuckboy, boy.
Is this a la Donald J. fucking Trumperson?
Yes.
The ultimate piece of shit.
The ultimate piece of shit.
Yeah.
Man.
So do you wanna roll right into the fucking hideous levels of entitlement and privilege and huge amounts of systemic racism that is allowing a Capitol building to be fucking overrun by a terrorist organization and cause an attempted coup? You wanna just roll straight into that?
I guess.
You put it like that.
Could have got a bit softer on that one, eh?
Yeah, man. All right, so let's get to, you said the obvious. That right there is the obvious. That's on some 8 Mile shit. Tell them something that they know about me. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about me. So let's get into the nits of the grits. Yo, speaking of not being able to take an L, okay? This is your reaction, you fuck people. This is your reaction to not being able to take an L. And your leader cannot take an L because he has been told he wins so much. He thinks that it's actually true. You have fooled yourself. You have literally been fooled, and you are fooling yourself by a fool. Okay? Like everything that you see, your whole world is false, and the whole world sees it. You are in your own bubble. You're in your own, but we get it. And everybody has their own worlds. I get it. Everybody has their own worlds they live in, and some things I can't relate to, some things I can, but the fact that you can't take an L and the hypocrisy on the level that it is, you are the ultimate fuckboys. You are fuckboys on steroids, cocaine, and PCP. You are. To see your reaction is so self-indulging. The nomad is all the levels of fuckboy on high levels.
Oh yeah, it is all the dials turned up to 11. It rolls far past privilege, and straight into fucking supremacy. And that is where, that's like, it's the highest level of fuckboy. It's, the world is not as I wish it, therefore I will fuck it into submission. Or I will fucking swing my dick at this hard enough despite all the signs telling me the contrary. But I think, we also need to kind of look at the standard ass Trump supporter and the level of fucking propaganda they're under. You know, they seem to revere Trump as though he's a fucking messiah. And all of his news networks, he keeps saying it. Like I was watching this thing about Hitler the other night, and the parallels are not fucking wasted on me. so much of his propaganda campaign was about going to the fucking nth degree, really hammering the highest level of a message again and again and again, like the slogan, like "Stop the Steal," things like that. They're extremely catchy, and they change the way people see things. People are willing to buy into that, you know? It's genuinely fucking terrifying. Genuinely terrifying.
Man, as a black American male, none of this shit surprises me. Just like everybody else. You know what I mean? A lot of a lot of people, I get it. But like, when I say it doesn't surprise me, it's like, it doesn't surprise me, so therefore it doesn't scare me. You know what I mean? Like, this is shit they've been on. This is just cameras now. Now we have cameras. You know what I mean? So the shit was done in 1812 or some shit like that, some stupid ass number. And it was stupid then. And it was treason then. And it was terroristic activity then. You know what I mean? Just like it is now. And it's the ultimate self-indulgence in not seeing the world as a whole. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happens when you're a fuckboy. You don't see anything as a whole. You only see your vision as tunnel vision.
Or you do some things, but only as a whole.
Yeah, man, your maturity levels have hit an all-time high, and I'm proud of you. But yeah, man, it's not embarrassing either for me. I tell you that. It's as a traveler, it can be embarrassing as an American, but I'm pretty sure I usually travel to places of people of color, and I'm pretty sure they get it. You know what I mean? Like that I'm kind of separated from that action.
Yeah, I don't think anyone sees a black dude, a black American, and it's just like, ooh, America ain't looking so hot right now. Like, I feel like you guys are just like the rest of us, just staring at this like dumpster fire, being like, ooh, someone should do something about that, you know? Mm-hmm. Or, you know, everyone should do everything they can about that, because,
yeah, it's really, yo, I know a Trump supporter who is a brown young lady. She's a brown young lady by way of Pakistan who lives in Canada, never been to America, but never been to America. I was going to say that again. Never has been to America. And
this is me holding back some real ableist comments right now.
I know.
Do carry on.
I know. And all I'm saying, her opinion about how it should be ran in the Trump situation is so far in. Like, I care about her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've taught her, she's been in my home in Thailand. Like, I actually give a fuck about a person who I don't agree with. So when I found out that she was one, I wanted to have a conversation with her, or at least have some type of dialogue, because I think I was in a space to be able to hold that for somebody. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know,
well done.
Thank you.
All right, that's dope.
And boy, did I fuck up. I tell you that.
You had me in the first half, ain't gonna lie.
Bro, I really wanted, cause I was like, okay, I can speak truth. Mm-hmm. I can, you know, or at least tell my version of it. And I'll tell you this, to make a long story short. We went back and forth with statistics, videos, propaganda on both sides. I said, okay, wait, how about this? How about we get rid of the statistics on both sides? Cause I feel like they both can be skewed to lean towards both of our sides. You know what I mean? I think that can happen. And I get that. But how about we get rid of those? How about I give you my experience as an American, as a black American in America who has lived the life here? Can I give you what it is like for me? Who's an intelligent person who, you know what I'm saying, who hasn't been poor, you know what I'm saying, but like went to a decent school, you know what I mean? Like I've had some situation, a whole lot of shit happen, but like I'm good. Both my parents are still alive and in love with each other. You know what I mean? Like I am somewhat different, but I am somewhat also the norm that you don't know about, that you have no idea exists. So let me explain that to you. She came back with, well, most black people in America said they're satisfied with the way things are going. I said, bitch, where are you getting your statistics? What? I'm telling you, you are, oh my God, she's a fuck girl. She's a fuck girl. She's a fuck girl. And because she cannot take an L, and her reaction to the L is to be, questioned. Okay. Questioned because she's super religious too. And I'm like, none of this makes sense to me. None of it. Everything contradicts itself. So like, to call a fuck person out, even though you see them for what they're doing, you don't have to give them tests. You don't have to figure it out. What they're doing in front of you is pure fuckery. It's so obvious. And for them not to see it is, you're right. It is terrifying. Uh-huh. I'm not scared of it, but it is terrifying.
I think I've touched on this a few times before. If you're trying to, because that's those people's realities. Mm-hmm. They believe, the election has been stolen. They believe that Trump is the next fucking messiah. They believe he's done all these good things for the country, despite the fact he's fucked the country. And they believe that, and that's their reality. And your reality is yourself. It's essentially like we all live in our own world, and if you try and change that world, you're trying to change that person. And people are very attached to who they are. Mm-hmm. So for them to take on, actually integrate new information, they have to change themselves. Now, certain people are far more likely to do that. Like, I feel like, not to trump my own trumpet, but me and you are more likely to take on information and be like, oh, okay, I'll change my worldview based on this information.
Yeah, if it's facts, fuck yeah, I'll fuck with that, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. However, if your entire worldview is based on the fact that, like, oh, we are the patriots, we're the last, bits of fucking humanity, and we're protecting America, and anyone else who comes at us with different opinions are trying to, ruin America, then you are literally entrenched in your views. And boy, oh boy, that's a fucking bad place to be for anyone around you. And that's where we get this shit. That's where, people are unwilling to learn about racism. People are unwilling to admit that they have been part of a racist system and have done racist things and have implicit racial bias, because it means that they have to change the story of, no, I'm the good guy. Mm-hmm. And that's something bad people do. That's where I've seen a lot of, what I would call fucking, moderate whites turn into fucking, aggressive dickheads, because they're like, no, I'm not racist. Racists are bad people. Anyway, let's get back to how Trump's a fucking dickhead. But that's
I did want to ask you something, Chris. Is it possible to change a fuckboy's worldview?
Yeah, definitely. Look at me and Binkey.
Boom.
Facts.
Can I jump on that one, Chris, real quick?
Go right ahead.
The way that I started this actual show was talking to a British black bloke. Sorry. This dude who was a younger cat, and he was messing with a friend of mine that I know, and she asked me to talk to him because he was doing all this obviously fucked things, but he wasn't seeing it as fucked things because he's young. You know what I'm saying? So he felt it was just his regular behavior. So I'm like, I had what I thought was going to be a 20-minute conversation about, something small turn into me actually having to explain empathy to him and put him in her shoes. And by the end of this 2-hour conversation, because he was in denial at first, he's like, "What? No, man, that's not who I am. It's not. No, I can't. No, that's not me. That's not me, man. No, I'm a good dude." But at the end, he was like, "Fuck, man." He's like, "I do that." Like, damn, fuck, man, am I a fuckboy? And he's like, I'm a fuckboy. He said it out loud. I almost cried. I was like, oh my God. he admitted it. It was amazing. And I was like, man, people don't know. So I think sometimes when they don't know, to give them the information sometimes could be like, okay, well, I didn't know. They could plead ignorance. It depends on how they react to it, I guess. You know what I mean? But it can't happen.
Yeah, Dre, on that one, I think this is kind of like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, Mm-hmm. I remember when I was a bit younger, I was in a situation where, basically I was just being a depressive piece of shit. And my kind of boss at the time came up to me and was like, Chris, you need to fucking research sarcasm and irony because you're being a cunt. And I was like, oh, okay. And I did it, and I was like, yeah, fuck, that's something I do all the goddamn time. And that was all the information I could take on that point. Other people were like, hey, you see you're doing this thing. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this thing. I mean, I clearly was doing the thing, but I was unwilling to admit or unwilling to change my behavior around the fact that I was doing the thing. So you can change a fuckboy's worldview, but they have to be open to it, you know?
Yeah, that receptive shit. They have to, like, and that's the hard part, because like you said, with the racist motherfuckers that's doing the storming the Capitol, to tell them even facts, especially facts, to do that, then you kind of have to change. You know what I'm saying? To accept that, to accept it as a truth, it's like, fuck, well, you kind of gotta have to change, but they're just not willing to let that go, to let go of that identity that they have, that they created for themselves. They were bored for the most part. They just miss saying nigga out loud.
Right.
That's all it is. That's what Trump represents to them. They're just an old way of speaking and talking with, and they haven't lost any fucking thing. Like, you're whining over what? Okay.
I mean, there was a little clip of Sarah Silverman and it was on Instagram a little while ago, and she was talking about one of her friends who is a ex like KKK fucking faculty chapter leader or some shit, and he got out. But the reason he got in was because, you know, he's a piece of shit teenager, and he kind of got approached by these people, and he just went where the love was. You know, he went where he was accepted. He went where the people were the same as him. Like, if you look at all the fucking videos of these fucking, so on my finger I have love everyone, tell the truth, and fuck me, love everyone is a hard one right now. But if you look at the people who are storming those buildings, they believe they are fucking disenfranchised. Like, they're probably mostly poor. And if they can all band together and be like, yeah, man, we're downtrodden, like, he's the man who can change it, despite him obviously being the one who's fucking them. You know, what do they get from that? They get camaraderie, they get righteousness, they get to be the people in the right against a common enemy. They get to like have that love, that brotherhood, that friendship. So you can kind of see why they fucking do it. They deeply believe that they're doing it for the country, for themselves, because they look around at the fucking 10 people they interact with, and they're all downtrodden white Americans. Mm-hmm. I'm using downtrodden. I know I'm talking to two fucking black guys, but, you know.
No, downtrodden makes sense. They're downtrodden as fuck. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Like, you take, like, that's what confuses me still sometimes. Not confused. I don't know if confuse the right word. It's because, like, look, there's so many commonalities between us. In enslaved time, poor white people worked right next to slaves. And then when the masters started to see that they like had stuff in common, the master being the problem and the supremacy being the problem, that's when the master was like, oh, wait. Hey, look, come here, poor white person. Here's a badge. Here's a whip. Here's a gun. Here's a horse. You and I are the same. Okay. You and I are the same. Even though I am sincerely raping the shit out of you. Like, the shit out of you. I'm treating you like them, really. I'm treating you the same as them. You might as well be them sometimes. But not in a way where they're taking from us. They're taking, you know what I'm saying? We were definitely treated worse.
It's classic divide and conquer, essentially. Like,
sincere. And that shit still works. That fear mongering works. That propaganda works to tell them that they are better, knowing that they are still worse off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that non-acceptance of being told something that is true. You know what I mean? It just fucks me up because it doesn't benefit you. Like, it does, you're fighting against your own interests. You know what I mean? Like, that's what what are you going to win by this? What is he going to give you?
Yeah. He's
the ultimate fuckboy promising you shit that you're never gonna get. And you are the lane that's hanging on because you're lacking something. Because you're lacking something that you're not willing to face.
Yeah, that has been the way for so long. Like, essentially, anytime there is an issue in England or in any major Western country, we're forced to look by the media at like other versions of the proletariat. Like, right now, England is like, oh no, all these asylum seekers. And I'm like, motherfucker, we see you doing a shit job. We realize that you're the guys who aren't paying taxes. Like, we could let in every single goddamn asylum seeker and it would still cost us less than taxing the fucking rich. And it's the same thing. It's like, oh, look at the people who are in the same position as you are, who also don't have enough, but don't look up. It's keeping people fucking occupied almost, you know? It's, anyway, yeah, we're treading the same ground here. We're fucking, look at this godforsaken situation that we've managed to get ourselves into.
But you know what? I'll say this. Silver lining, always. What Trump has done and continues to do is rip the mask off. Figuratively and literally, but ripping the mask off of America that people have placed. You know, I'm in Mexico right now and I'm in a dope ass Airbnb, and the guy who's over it, super cool, super sweet guy. He was saying, he came here and me and him started talking politics. He was like, yeah, Trump he's crazy. I kind of like him. I was like, word. And we started talking about it. And I was saying how, he just is, doing a terrible job. And we had a great conversation about it. But, all in all, it's like his inability to face himself. Because he's never had to. You know what I mean? And some people want that kind of freedom. People look to him and see that kind of, I don't give a fuck attitude. I'll still win no matter what. They want to stay winners because they're downtrodden as fuck. And they want to feel like winners.
That's the thing. Like, I read somewhere that, like, the American working class, like, still really believe in the American dream because they view themselves as, like, temporarily embarrassed millionaires. You know, they're just like, oh, I'm just one good turn away from being fucking Donald Trump or fucking Rupert Murdoch. And, like, no, man, that, like, oh, if you work hard and, like, get ahead and are a smart and savvy fucking citizen, then you too can sit on a gold toilet with the American president. Like, and it's just not true. It's a myth that we are sold in a capitalist society to work ourselves to death for people who do not give a fuck.
You know it's not a myth,
Chris Hurst on capitalism. Fucking.
I'm sorry, Chris, my fault.
No, go ahead.
You know it's not a myth, though, bro? What the fact that they could treat the fucking Capitol building like a rage room and be cool with it, like they can. That has to feel good. That has to feel good.
As a black man, it is. I couldn't imagine, could not fathom going in there. And the thought alone is it's horrifying because I'm like, yo, we go in there, we're done.
Man, motherfuckers can't sleep in their own bed, let alone break into the Capitol building in D.C.
and walk out with shit.
Not walk out, be let out.
Yeah, right.
Be let out. Like, here you go, sir, have a good day. There's the podium.
Right, you can keep the podium. Keep that.
Till next time, it's the same broken windows, same broken fucking America. But all right, so here again, silver lining, the mask being ripped off is okay for me because now you can see it, and to see it, like, all right, it's a big fat told you so is in the middle of all black people's throats, but we're just gonna chill with it. We're chill. We know better. Let them make fools of themselves continuously. Let them be the biggest hypocrites in front of you, in front of the world. You know what I mean? Like, all right. Cause they're dying. That's the thing. They're dinosaurs, man. They're dying. That's what they're worried about the most. They are a dying breed. Their ideals are dying. Their actual dinosaurs are dying, but they're being created. He's recreating a couple more, but worldwide, they're still dying. I'm sorry. In 40 years, all of America's going to be like brown or black, brown and black. And that's what they're scared of. So, you know, let them scramble. Let them take a podium and break their own shit. It's crazy when the rabbit got the gun, man. Sure. Crazy. It's actually fun to watch a fuckboy self-destruct.
Yeah, he really is just like, just fucking white mediocre male with all the dials turned to fucking 11. He's a caricature. I think this is, so you guys are aware of the Tao, it's like the path, it's a fucking It's a religious thing. I can't remember the exact one right now. But, so this is an interesting one. A little while ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she put up a picture of her and a friend. Both of these people are people I play with. And I was like, oh, man, I'd like, I said some kind of, like, overly crass statement, like, oh, I want to be the meat in that sandwich, you know, just typical bullshit. And she was like, yo, that's not cool. And I was like, oh, fuck, that is not the reaction I was expecting. But okay, sweet. And we're still yet to have a proper conversation about it, because we're going to wait until I get back to Berlin. But, like, I hit it, and I was like, I was kind of glad that I hit off something, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, imagine you're walking down a dark corridor and you can't see shit, and you hit something like, oh, that's got to be one of the two walls. So I kind of know that I'm moving in the right direction. If you hit something, it gives you something to balance yourself off.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at Trump and you go, okay, well, there is one of the fucking walls, and sweet God, I can see it, and I ain't going to touch that motherfucker. So I'm going to head in a different direction. Oh. I think if anything, that is just like, that is what Trump has been perfect for. He has been a brilliant bad example.
What not to do.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's real. All right. So, man, let's wrap this up. Let's have a nice little wrap up, man. We talked earlier about, having an influx of, young ladies in my inbox and in my life, asking me about these, fuckboys. And we said, what, Chris? What did we say? You remember what we said? How to?
You know, man, I want to hear some more of Dre's voice.
Oh, come on, Dre.
All right. So we spoke about boundaries, setting boundaries for yourself, setting boundaries for the person you're with, and just doing that early, doing it as early as possible, so that and so that you can respect them and there are no surprises whatsoever. It's like, oh, I didn't know. You did. We talked about this. Mm-hmm. So that making sure that point is there, and, holding yourself accountable. Because you have to be accountable to the things that you say, the things that come out of your mouth, and then owning that shit. If you don't want to fuck on the first date, make that be known and set that boundary for yourself. Don't get a little tipsy and then all of a sudden you feeling freakish after you didn't already set the boundaries. So, we talked about that.
That's a good point, Dre. Good point, Dre.
What else did we talk about?
As far as advice was, noticing, like, what to notice about how to pick up on things before you even get to the fuckitude. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's like, how self-indulged are they? How empathetic are they in any situation? Right. Small things make a big difference. Sometimes their Instagram also can be a depiction of how they feel about themselves, how they treat themselves, and how they treat you.
That's important. That's important to me. I'm telling you, I'll look and all these selfies. I don't know about that.
Yes, we do know that Dre is if you have 4 selfies in a row, do not fuck with Dre. He is not going to hit you up.
I'm going to look and I can't do it.
Dre not going. If you can, how about 3 in a group picture?
Okay.
We got, okay.
The group picture is cool.
Okay, we got 3 in a group. Now, as a group 2, is 2 a group?
2 is not a group.
2 is not a group, ladies. 2 is not a goddamn group. All right.
I'm going to think that's your girlfriend. I'm definitely not going to hit you up.
2 is not a group. Don't fuck up. Do not fuck up with Dre. All right.
Okay. Also, trust your fucking instincts. If you're having weird vibes, then just fucking trust that, this probably isn't somewhere you want to go. Also, be aware of what you want and make sure that what you want and reality are not the same thing. Because they shouldn't be. If you're going into a situation and you're like, oh, I really want this guy to be this, and he's actually not that, notice that he's actually not that, and don't try and bend reality to what you want him to be, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that all the time, and that's a fucking shit path to take.
That's real. That's super real. I like that.
That's like People Project.
I like that. They'll just bend the way they think about them. Like, oh, they are kind of like that. Like, no, he's not. He's a fucking thief. You don't like thieves.
He's so handsome. The guy with 3 teeth and 1 eye.
Right.
And looks like he's been hit by a bus, but has never actually been hit by a bus. The fuck?
He looks like a pirate of the 21st century. This guy? All right.
Hey, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, guys. All right, all body types are welcome and valid and beautiful.
That's fair.
All right. I'm going to plug my Instagram. Hey guys, my name's Chris Hurst. I'm a fucking tattoo artist in Berlin, Manchester, Bristol. My Instagram is ink.hurst, Hurst. Hit me up for any of your artistic needs. I fucking do album covers, oil paintings, tattoos, all that good shit. All right, that's my bit done. Binkey, anything else you want to say?
Just that, if you have been affected by a fuckboy or a fuck girl in your life, I would also say, seek therapy. That's cool as fuck. Do some self-loving, however that looks, for meditating, smoking, joking, loving yourself, just getting a massage. You know what I mean? Just, how about doing nothing? You can do the fucking nothing, but just
man, doing nothing is so underrated.
Oh, I swear to God, it's so nice. So nice. Watching Ceiling fans go around trying to catch that feeling on instrumental. You feel me? But yeah, I would just say that. I would say if you have been affected, which we all have been, just, make sure you take care of yourself. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm in motherfucking Mexico getting this sun and fun. Mm-hmm. I was borderline about to do something racist, and I'm so glad I didn't. I was so close. So close. But all right, yo, man, this is Chronicles of a Reformed Fuckboy. We love y'all, man. Please take care of yourselves. We out.
Peace.